Hi, everybody. This is John from AU Pack Mule, and today we're going to do a live stream. I guess on what? It's Westworld. Westworld with a great discussion on Arnold, who he is, and what he is. And I have a special guest today, first time ever live streamer. His name is Johnny Be Crazy on YouTube, and he has done a couple of different videos. One of them on Arnold that aired yesterday, Johnny.
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed up all night. I don't know.
So basically, the episode or the video was basically saying that Arnold was a robot. Is that correct?
Hold on.
The host, I should say.
Do we got reverb?
Do we?
I don't know.
I don't listen to the video, so let's see. Can you guys hear us, Eduardo, or Al? Everybody, is the video?
Is there an echo?
Better? Oh, great! Living My Rhapsody is here. Lauren's Corner's here. Eduardo's. Hey, everybody! Al, Red Sox fan. Great, great video channel all on its own. Beautiful. Okay, so are you hearing some reverb, Johnny?
I am. I can't look at the live chat because it's reverbing in my ear.
Gotcha. Yeah, you have to mute that for sure.
Yeah, I can't figure it out.
Angelina's here. Awesome. My Tolkien friend. Yes. Nice. From London. Good to see you. Lauren's Corner, of course, the Scottish princess poet. She was tickled pink on this last episode when we got to see James Delos speaking a little cheeky Scottish stuff. So that was fun. So Johnny did a video going back to the Arnold situation, basically trying to figure out, is this Arnold Weber really a person? Is he a host just designed? And my theory is actually going to be that he is a total make-believe Tyler Durden type of character. And we'll go into that a little bit later. But first, could you introduce yourself, Johnny, and tell everybody hello, and then what your Arnold video was about?
Hey, everyone. I'm Johnny. How y'all doing in the chat out there? Sorry if my audio is a little loud. I'll try to speak a little lower if that's better. Yeah, my Arnold video. I think Arnold. Hold on. Drawing a blank pack mule. Help me out here. I'm sorry.
Arnold Weber is a host.
Oh yeah, I believe he was the first ever host. I think that Bernard has been Arnold and then been Bernard. There's many things that point to this. I can't disprove it yet. For instance, the picture, you've got Ford's father in the picture, and then you've got Arnold. But why is Ford's father so happy? You know, they seem to not have a good relationship. So did Ford's father help in building the house? That's another thing I've been thinking about. There's a lot of different things, and I am doing horribly.
Oh, you're doing great.
But you know, we haven't. Oh, I apologize. We haven't seen Arnold's family. We've only heard him talk about him. We haven't seen his wife. We haven't really seen Charlie, whoever Charlie is, if he ever existed. Like this season, that unfinished house, very suspect. He talks about bringing his kids in and his wife in. His wife says he lives in the park. There's just a lot of things that point to it. I mean, was he the original first defective robot? Did he gain sentience before everyone else? I mean, it's hard to say with any real there's no proof, but there's really no proof of anything in the show. Not yet.
Or there's proof of everything, right?
Right. Like
So I think
the
one of the
first
things
thing.
that throws us off, and I thought for sure that Bernard was a creation of Ford to help him perpetuate the park right from the beginning, because of the way he would rub his glasses and be very over attentive to all the body functions of other people, and seeing what that um, personality about those other guests were, or the humans, especially with Teresa Cullen. And it seemed like there was something very strange about Bernard. Now, as
Well,
far as Arnold goes, um, Arnold was basically the what we think was the original, and we think that he was human, Ford's partner. But we never see him interact with any of the other hosts, especially in the detail that he does with Dolores in the beginning of what, 4 episodes, maybe 5 episodes last year. He was always talking to Dolores.
right. We've never seen Arnold with a human, except maybe Ford.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly. And you remember what Ford said, we only allow them to see what won't hurt them.
right. And a specific quote. Ford said that he built Bernard because the technicians were too slow or inadequate.
Inadequate for sure. Elsie says the same
So,
thing. These guys couldn't program a wad of paper.
right. I have questions about Elsie as well.
Yeah.
I have so many notes here,
Uh,
but
Marie says Dolores is the one that bores her. And I can see in a lot of ways last year why that was, because she's in a loop. She's just the pretty girl that gets abused by the locals, right?
right now she's the Bernard's the father, Maeve's the mother, and she's the rebelling teenager. Is how I see it almost.
Exactly.
Uh, she's kicking it up a notch, but I don't know. She might go straight evil on us.
Let me ask you, in regards to your Arnold is a host, can you tell us why you would think that he would want Dolores to shoot him if he was a host?
Well, all that's a memory. So Arnold could have never. That could have been a different person sitting in that chair. Just how Teddy was able to see Wyatt or Dolores as a different person, as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like a planted memory. That's what I believe. Or he thought he was real, and he believed he was real, and was told by Ford he was real, and he thought he was making a sacrifice, but really wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah. So when you think of the host Arnold creating, do you think the story about Arnold building Ford's family was a falsehood?
I think no. I think he knew Ford's father. I think they worked together actually, because they're all in the picture smiling together in the park, like they achieved something together. And also, if you notice, the original script for the family was not of Ford's father being an abusive alcoholic. Ford even said that he changed it to be more realistic, but
Right.
who, we can't believe what Ford says. We got to take everything he says with a grain of salt. Everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What else? You want some more reasons why I think he's a host?
Yeah, I definitely want to dig into this, because we've got some time here.
So, let's see. Yeah, all his POVs are from the host perspective. Even like when they're telling the story, when Ford's telling him the story about Arnold, the hosts are looking back and remembering it. It's not as if we're seeing it through a human's perspective. So it's hard to tell. Actually, and also that picture of Bernard, like his little blueprint was with Dolores's blueprints.
Right.
Those Dolores was supposed to be the original. Maybe there were two originals. I don't know, but I think Bernard was not Bernard. Arnold was the original. I'm sorry. There's so much stuff here.
No,
I think I wrote down too many notes, man.
That's a good problem to have. In regards to Arnold being, so you think he was human, and then Ford
I
built
think
him.
Arnold. I'm gonna go tinfoil here. I think Arnold was Ford's father's name.
Okay.
We've never heard his name mentioned. We know Arnold helped him. I think Arnold was Ford's father.
Gotcha.
That's just my tinfoil theory. I got a tinfoil hat on right now. And post-it notes on me.
So, one of the things that I was thinking of is the fact that we saw at the end of the season last year when Dolores was going through her I'm hearing voices, and it was Bernard, and then finally it became her. It actually became Dolores, and she was sitting in the underground behavior area where her and Arnold had so many conversations, and then the chair just was blank. There was nobody there, and then there was no chair at all, which gave me the indication that this is maybe how Ford created Arnold, just to be her conversation piece, so that she wouldn't go crazy like some of the other hosts did when they were in the church. Do you remember when they were mumbling to themselves?
Right. They were wigging out.
Yeah, and this kept her grounded, not only from a perspective of a actual host that needs to be productive in the park, but someone who would actually go further than the others. And what really made me think about this is that Arnold was talking to Ford about Dolores being ready for this party on Sunday night's episode, and it was kind of off screen. It wasn't, you kind of see Ford's shadow, but that's about it. And it's before Dolores even says anything off script or says anything that's repetitive, like she did. Getting back to your picture question, because Ford actually controls what Bernard saw, I don't think that using the picture, because we already saw that he didn't see the picture the way it was captured, really has any value to me in regards to figuring something out, because it's what Bernard sees. It's not what Arnold sees. And
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Bernard, don't be afraid to cut in, because this is just us hanging out.
Right. The only thing that makes me go back and want to use it again is that in the first episode of this season we're watching now, it deliberately shows that picture in the opening sequence to show you what happened on the previous thing, and I don't know, it got me to thinking. But that whole picture could be a facade. There could be another person standing there that we haven't even seen, or that is hidden in plain sight to us, that is the real Bernard. I mean, Arnold.
Yeah. If you think about it, that could have been Bernard who made the father um, all
Right.
along. It doesn't necessarily have to be Arnold in the sense that Arnold was created, or Arnold was a real person.
Yeah, there's so many ways you can go with this. That's
So
why I don't really know.
let's look at Arnold being a real person and going from there. Okay.
Okay.
So how many times do you see Arnold interacting with anyone else?
Arnold, the only human, if he is human, is Ford. Everyone else would be Dolores. I mean, Teddy sees him, but we don't know if that's what Teddy sees
Tell me
when
what
he's
you mean by
shot.
that.
Because when Teddy's helping Dolores murder everyone in the town,
But
and
he
then
sees
she
the
walks up
colonel
to
or
shoot
the
him.
general or whatever.
No, I'm talking about when Dolores is remembering. Like, we see Teddy's there. Maybe he saw someone different sitting in the chair than who we know as Arnold. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the only time he's ever seen that is when he was given the backstory of Wyatt. Am I right or
Right.
am I wrong?
Well, no, it showed in the flashback in the final episode when they were flashing back to it that he was there. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You got me thinking now. Let's see. There's so many things. I think he was real. I mean, but your Ford, your whole Fight Club theory has me going. The split their personality of Tyler Durden sitting in the
Yeah.
corner.
So the reason why I went that way is because if he was real, there is no way that James Delos would invest in a company that had human beings killed.
Right, right.
Am I
Well,
am I wrong or
supposedly he made Arnold, I mean, Bernard right after that to cover it up, but who's to say how fast he could make them? Now, maybe, see, that goes back to my theory thinking that he's been a host the whole time, and he already had a backup Bernard waiting, or backup Arnold waiting, I'm sorry, and then made him Bernard after that. But pure speculation, as is almost anything in the show.
well, actually not completely because like I said, we do know there's no interaction between Arnold as we know him and any other host,
Right.
right? He only interacts with Dolores. And then we also know that he doesn't interact with any other humans except for Ford.
And it's always kind of, we see Ford in the shadows talking to him.
Well,
It's a reflection of
we see
Ford, or
Ford and him talking through Dolores
right, right.
POV, not anyone else.
That's it. We don't see him through a human's eyes ever.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we also got to see the fact that James Delos invested completely into Delos Destinations this last episode through convincing by William.
Let me bring up this point real quick. All right, when the opening scene of the first episode, when Bernard's talking, not Bernard, Arnold's talking to Dolores, or who we think's Arnold, he talks about his dream. Now, I think this might be in the future after they get the park under control, and might not even be a past experience. And he evolves into Arnold later. I'll do a video on that. But he has the dream that he was left on the beach. And then what do we see next? Him being left on that beach. And he also doesn't have a
He
scar
says he was in the ocean and they were on shore.
laying next to the ocean. Well, something like that. But I believe this season Bernard's going to remember everything like Dolores has already remembered everything. I believe he's got a new body. He's had to. If the timeline's right, he woke up on that beach without the scar on his head. So he had to get a new body. His CPU's going, well, he's draining the fluid and the CPU's going down. So he had to get another body. When he got that other body, I believe something got unlocked. And he's getting all his memories at one time. That's why you're seeing all these glitches, just like Dolores saw glitches last season. He's getting all these memories popped onto him at one time because he doesn't remember them like we do.
Let's not confuse Bernard and Arnold.
Right. But that's on my theory that Bernard and Arnold are the same person.
Gotcha. Because Arnold was a host, is what you're saying.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So let's say that you're correct. Arnold was a host. He was there from the beginning. Dolores shot him. And then years later, Ford made Bernard. Right?
Right. Or he already had another one ready, and he could have fooled everyone into thinking that Arnold was a real person. Maybe no one ever met him. Maybe only a couple people did, but I'm sure they were fooled.
Or
he was a host.
Or moved on.
Right. So we don't even know if anyone knew he existed there. We just know his name.
How long do you think it was between the host Arnold dying and the creation of Bernard as we know him?
I say if he didn't have a backup already made, which he probably didn't, that older model machine that he has in the first season that's making the host slower does it in a few days. So I would say maybe a week, since it was 35 years ago when that happened. So
wow.
I'd say he could do it in a week probably.
So you think Ford would take that big of a chance of Bernard getting recognized?
If anybody at all ever knew Arnold, so many people coming in and out of there someone would have had to recognize Bernard by now. You would think.
I would think Arnold. So. I mean, if you're talking about someone who is known.
Right. Yeah, I think his dad, something happened with Ford's father dying. Something like, that's what makes me think he's Arnold. That's another reason. I wish I could think of them all off the top of my head.
But possibly it's James Delos that was Arnold?
No, that Ford's father is named Arnold Ford.
Gotcha.
I know it's kind of out there, but I can't disprove it yet.
Gotcha.
So it's still out there.
Okay.
And it's interesting.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of speculation in the show by far. So there's nothing that's out of the realm of discussion. Let's put it that way. But I think in regards to the discussion we're having right now is who is Arnold? Is he a host? Is he a human? Or is he a figment of Dolores's imagination put there by Ford to keep her grounded to the point where she doesn't go crazy like the other host did?
Right. Yeah, I can see that. Just I don't know. I'd like to hear you go into a little more detail on that. Actually, it's very interesting to me.
So basically, yeah, if I am a programmer and I need to maintain control of how many hosts would you say there were? 30, maybe?
Back then, Arnold,
because remember when they were practicing
designed
dancing
100
and all that stuff?
Arnold originally designed 147 were only still in operation by season 1.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's say you have 100 hosts, and there's no way that you can figure out what they're doing and how to correct them, how to error correct them. And so I think Bernard was just used to error correct Dolores.
Okay. See, but that also makes me think of how the hosts communicate like ants when they're in a group together, which was
Okay.
just revealed this last episode
Okay.
that that Arnold was a host, and that's why he was put there to control them. But it could go either way.
But
Like the
what?
theory. Go ahead.
No, I'm just trying to prove out or talk out my Tyler Durden situation, and that
Yeah.
is he did things that Ford couldn't do because there's not enough time of the day. And so he was a
Yeah.
program put into Dolores's CPU to basically create someone that she could talk to.
Okay. What about? Do you think the original Ford was the father, the guy, the one guy that's in the picture, or
I
who
think
is
it's
the?
possible. I think the family of Ford has nothing to do with any of it.
Oh, okay. So
Hey,
how?
say hi to Don Willie, Captain America, the Mr. Marvel himself.
Hey, Don Willie, what's up, man?
Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Yeah. He says he's Arnold Weber.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, well, I got to be honest with you. It is an interesting conversation, no matter how you set it up. We have
Well, who
Bernard.
originally made everyone? If the
Oh,
was
I think
there
it was
originally a
Ford.
Ford,
I think it was
and then
Ford.
Ford got shot?
No, I don't think
No.
Ford got shot until this last episode 10 of last season.
Oh, so Ford put that in there, and he's chilling behind the scenes doing other stuff as well. I got you.
Correct.
I got
Correct.
you. I was slightly confused there. I apologize. I see now. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Arnold. They said that's what Arnold did, was put his voice in there to, you know, make it eventually turn into their own voice with the whole bicameral mind theory.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it could go that way. My brain hurts. Does anybody got any questions?
I got a better question. How many people think that Arnold is a human?
Oh, I wish I could see the chat right now.
Well, I'll tell you when it comes up because I
All
don't
right.
um yeah, one of the things that made me think of this question, this Tyler Durden theory, is because when Arnold, excuse me, originally planned on Dolores shooting him, and so the park wouldn't open, um,
Hmm.
is how does shooting a host prevent the park from being open?
Um.
Because they're all host.
Well, given maybe it was a facade.
So we have one person saying Arnold is human and one that says I don't think he's human.
Well, that clears it up.
Thunderclap says, thanks for joining us, Thunderclap. Says 5950, which I have no idea what that means. Is that like a drink or something?
I'm not
Or
sure. It sounds so
maybe he
familiar.
mistyped and wanted to say 50-50.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. It's hard to know. There is so many things. You could go with another completely different theory about Arnold, and you could find evidence to back it up. The thing that's hard to do is disprove. Well, you can disprove things in the show, but they make a lot of things to where you can't disprove it. So they really keep us guessing, and they don't want us to. know what's happening. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's I think what they do is they give us the information by not giving us certain information. And
Right.
that's why my theory of Arnold is an imaginary figure like Tyler Durden, because he's not um he's doing everything behind the scenes, because the hosts are seeing him there, specifically Dolores is seeing him there, and it has nothing to do
Yeah.
with actual interaction. Now, if, for example, if they were in this Chinese city in this last episode and they were walking down the street and Arnold bought them ice cream or something along those lines, I might say, gee, maybe this is, maybe Arnold is interacting with human beings. But all he
Yeah.
really did was go to this construction site where it could have been Dolores walking um, by herself, completely by herself. And we've
Yeah.
seen
We've been
this.
so. I'm sorry.
Sorry. No, that's okay. I was going to say we've seen this in other AI movies where the person that we think is human turns around and looks in the mirror or does something, and the person that they're thinking of isn't there.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, Dolores is the only person that's ever seen him. She's the only proof he exists, and a picture that,
It's
depending on
questionable.
which time you're looking at it, is, you know, has different things in it. So, I mean, there could be one of the creators could be on the outside. One of the people that helped create the park could be on the outside. Maybe that's why they're trying to get so much something out. I don't know. So speculative. Let's see.
Well, I'd like to be able
Oh,
to rule out one of the possibilities before we leave. Um, what do you think as far as the possibility of Arnold actually being a human?
I don't think Arnold was ever human. If he
Okay.
was, he was not Bernard or looked like Bernard at all. If he was human at all, but I don't think so.
So what would make you think that Arnold is a host?
His interactions, the way he's starting to go back and forth through memories now, just rewatching stuff. Um, I know I'm not explaining it very well. So, we have him glitching, and it seems like he's glitching back and forth from Arnold to Bernard in this first couple seasons, but it's hard to tell whether it's Dolores remembering it or it's Bernard. But I think he's a host for the simple reason that Ford needed someone to help him with his work.
Gotcha.
I believe Ford was a lone wolf for the most part,
I'm going to take
and
a
he
quick
did
break
state he built
here,
Arnold. Oh,
if
I
I could.
apologize.
No, that's okay. I want to mention one of our people in the chat, Living My Rhapsody. You see her on Lady Wolverton's channel. Wrote a book called Titans, and it is on Amazon. And she was gracious enough this weekend to allow us to get that for free. I downloaded it on my Kindle, started the first, prologue, and I'm hooked. I'm reading this thing every time I get a break. So thank you very much for allowing us to do that. And I wish you the best. I hope this is a huge success. And I want you to make sure you read it for Audible too, because uh, just a great voice, hearing you read the prologue. So good job. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was hoping that we would just give us a few minutes to allow the people in the comments, in the chat, to comment on um, Arnold being a host. What are the chances of that?
Oh, yeah, I'll be getting Lamar's book ordering it this weekend. I'm gonna get me a hard copy.
Nice. Nice.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, so
It's great.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's about 350 pages. It's not a huge investment in time, and it's just so far it's been awesome.
Yeah, oh, it's not like reading the Song of Ice and Fire Bibles.
No compendiums needed. Yes. So, would you agree that the chances of Arnold being a host are high because we don't see him interact with other humans?
The things he does, the things Ford says, the reason he built him in the first place, the he's with the thing this season, just like Dolores was last season with the "is this now" thing. The whole "is this now," and then we're seeing these flashes of
Well, that's
Arnold.
Bernard.
Or,
We don't
well,
ever see
that's Bernard, but then we're seeing the
Bernard.
flashes of Arnold talking to Dolores, like
We don't.
the one in the room. But I don't know if that's Bernard remembering it. But he wakes up right after that, like that was his first memory when he woke
Tell me
up.
what you mean.
When he wakes up on the beach, right before that, he's sitting down. Arnold's sitting down with Dolores, talking to her, and he tells her about the dream, and then it cuts to him waking up on the beach. Or am I wrong about that?
Arnold.
I could be wrong about that.
Bernard with his glasses and the champagne glass when he's in the tan suit is the first scene. It's not until after he goes through that section and looks at his hand, and then he flashes back to the barn with Charlotte Hale. And at that
I was talking about. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's at that moment he does the flashback to where he was in the control center where the big map is, and he has the gun.
All right. See, I have an issue here with too many notes. Apologize. First live stream. I think I over prepared and I put too much information in my mind. And I'm trying to find.
Yeah, Lauren's Corner says that there could be two Arnolds, one human and one host.
That's kind of what I'm saying with the whole Ford's dad thing. Gotcha. But
and then Don Willie says
I would lean more toward host, just from things I've seen. If you rewatch the first season and just how Dolores is remembering things and how Bernard / Arnold is remembering things, I think they are the same person. But I do like your theory. But the Man in Black does talk about the disaster that happened. Now, did anyone else see it? Like physically see the disaster happen, or did they just hear about it happening? We don't know.
I think that was Logan that told William, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and he went to the park beforehand as well.
Correct.
Before Logan did.
See, that's the other thing that makes me think this isn't a true occurrence. The fact that Arnold was shot, because as Logan, as crazy as he is and as sex driven as he is, he's not going to go to a park and have sex with hosts that have shot another human being. I mean, I know he's wacko, but
and doesn't say specific, just said that an accident almost, I think the Man in Black says that an accident almost took the whole park down with it or something. No, Arnold died and almost took the whole park with it. That's what he said. So, yeah, I think you're converting me, man. But I don't.
Go
think.
ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
I don't think Arnold was ever a real person. I
Gotcha.
think Ford was a lone wolf. That's why we keep seeing the lone wolf. It's not just for Dolores because she's not a lone wolf. She's got a pack now. Why are we still seeing it? I
Hmm.
think Ford was a lone wolf.
Yeah, Don Willie says, I think Ford was in love with, he says live, but I think he meant love with Arnold, and he couldn't handle it when Arnold was killed. And if Arnold was real, I think that's a definite possibility. But he did have, supposedly, Arnold had a wife and child.
But we never see him,
And
and he
exactly,
only talks about him.
exactly. We get that whole thing through Bernard's eyes, really.
Yeah,
But Ford
I think
definitely
we're.
has issues, God issues.
I think we're also seeing Bernard's going to take the Arnold role. I believe. I think he's going to play like Arnold. He's going to try to control Dolores in a sense. I mean, it seems like watching the last episode that Maeve kind of controlled Dolores when she said, "You're going to let us walk by now or walk past now."
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell whether she did or not. I don't know, but she does have control over all the hosts if she wants to. So Maeve is definitely the most powerful and smartest one out there right now.
Right. But you never see Maeve interacting with Arnold,
Nope, no
whether
one.
through a flashback. Um, e- Even, let's say, for example, someone like Wild Bill, who was one of the original hosts in episode one,
Mm-hmm.
any of the ones, even Angela, we never see him interact with Angela at all.
No, and they're all in the church crying. They're not going down there, and the ones that are down there are being worked on,
Right.
and tested and put through quality control, so to speak.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I like that, man. That's a good theory.
So, has anybody not seen Fight Club that's in the chat?
Got to watch it if you haven't.
It's one of those very, very cool movies, isn't it? Even besides the violence.
Definitely a cult classic for sure.
Yeah.
It's very dark comedy, but it's hilarious, and I don't know. There's so many aspects to that movie. Yeah, it's you could compare it to Westworld. I see why you're doing that.
Well, like I
Very good
said,
comparison.
everybody has interacted with Tyler Durden, and they don't even know that it's not that the guy that created Tyler Durden doesn't even know who he is, right?
Correct. They see the guy who created its face, but he
Yeah,
calls himself Tyler Durden.
exactly.
So, and that's also a coping mechanism when you're dealing with tragedy. That also gets me thinking about that. When you have a tragedy like that, a lot of people, especially at a young age, will develop a split personality to be able to cope with it. So, I get you thinking about some of the stuff going on in Westworld too.
So Marie Hill from Australia says, "I've never seen Fight Club," and admits it. So that's very brave of you. If I were you, Marie, I would never see
It's
it.
fine.
Um, it's a very violent movie, but it's very, very cool. You just have to get through that first part. Lauren, as an artist, I think you should see it without a doubt. Um, it's not that he sees people. That's totally not the case at all. And the movie Fight Club put me off for probably 6, 8 months before I actually saw it. And once I saw it, I was hooked. I was just, yeah, I just thought it was a great, great movie. Um, but anyways, the character Tyler Durden does so many things that the guy that has the split personality um, will do that the regular guy will not do. And I think that's why Ford created Arnold, to do the things that he couldn't do just as a program. And I think that's one of the reasons also why when Bernard asked to meet Arnold, he doesn't allow him to do that because he doesn't want him to understand that Arnold isn't a person.
Right. He's, and with your theory, I mean, he basically programmed Dolores to F stuff up, for lack of a better term. She is the chaos.
Yeah.
She is what's going to forge the rest of his narrative, because that he's got this contingent. He's not going to, everything's not going to go under. I don't think. It possibly could. I mean, the Men in Black wants everything to go under. But like I said, with that, him putting Arnold in there like that, really clever. Then you got Bernard left. He basically groomed Bernard for leadership all the first season without him even knowing it.
Yeah.
And, he tells him, you've did this so many times, and now you guys are finally ready. So
Lauren brings up, she says that Fight Club reminds her of The Sixth Sense. Did you see that movie?
Yes. Oh, love that movie.
Same kind of
that movie. Concept. That and Split are really good.
Right? The same concept with that. The boy sees him, interacts with him, talks with him, and we don't realize until the end. Well, most people don't realize until the end that he's dead the whole time.
I didn't realize it. Well,
he didn't even know that.
Yeah, that was an amazing movie. That was an amazing movie. Yeah, it really applies. All I can see is Tyler Durden sitting on the counter talking smack.
With the leather jacket.
Why are you bringing my girlfriend? He's what's the main character's name? Edward Norton's name in the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember, but
he's having sex with his own girlfriend, but he's blaming his split personality he's blaming her for cheating on him. Oh, it's crazy. That is it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
For sure.
You got Meatloaf in there who plays an excellent part and make you go crazy. He's a pretty beloved character in that movie.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think I'm going to concede with you. I think the Tyler Durden theory, and then he's grooming Bernard to basically be Arnold, because that's if Dolores is going to trust anyone, it's going to be who she sees as Arnold, and that would be the only person she would trust. I don't even know if she trusts Teddy. I think she might kill Teddy, just because I don't know if he's down with all the killing.
Yeah, he definitely.
But
is following her. Like I said, a lot like Hector is following Maeve.
He needs to grow a pair. That's for sure.
They don't have that in their programming.
Well, I know they have it anatomically, though. maybe Teddy doesn't.
Yeah, we haven't gone there yet. That's funny.
Let's see. Does anybody got any questions? I can't see the chat, but
yeah, basically there's not a lot of questions, Q&A type stuff. A lot of people are just joining us because they're getting home East Coast, obviously, and there's a lot of comments about the movie, both Sixth Sense and Fight Club. Yes, Lauren, Meatloaf is in the movie, and he has breast cancer. He is suffering from breast cancer.
And he also has gynecomastia. You don't know what that is.
Well, I think that's why he had that, is because they wanted to give him an importance in the role. So very cool.
It was really, that was a great movie. That was unrepeatable, that movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a whole video on Arnold / Bernard in more detail. It's going to take me a little bit, but I've got 4 pages written down on it. That's why I'm having such a hard time looking through it and giving you, evidence. But, it does. Your theory ties in with my theory.
It does.
We just have a different starting point,
Well, it's
basically.
because it's artificial intelligence that
Right.
is promoting the thought process and diving into the maze that was Arnold's theory of consciousness.
Right. Yeah.
Is there a way to tell Arnold from Bernard visually?
Close sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to say the only time I've been able to confirm that it is Arnold is when Arnold is in the basement underneath Ford's house.
Yeah.
That's always Arnold talking to Dolores.
Unless Arnold is Bernard and they're the same person. But we won't know that for a while, I'm sure. But yeah, I really like your theory. AU. That's
I wanted to say goodbye to Al, Red Sox fan. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Really,
bye.
everybody loves his call of the games. Just love that. So make sure you check that out. He has such great football, baseball games, hockey, you name it.
Oh, I'll have to check that out then. I'm a big sports fan.
Yep.
No questions, huh? How many people how many people think your theory's right?
Yeah, does anybody think that Arnold doesn't exist physically? He's only in Dolores's mind. Out of the 10 people that are watching now. Marie says Al's Twitter too. You can check him out on Twitter.
Yeah.
Kat, you are awesome. Thanks for coming by. You haven't even watched Westworld, and you're on our live stream talking about one of the characters that may or may not even exist. That is awesome. Johnny, can you tell us? Kat wants to know, how good is the show on a scale from 1 to 10?
I give it a 9. For me, I mean, it's
give it about a 15
with Game of Thrones for me, and then it might get better than Game of Thrones. I don't want to trigger anyone out there. I love Game of Thrones. I have all the books. I'm rereading them now, but it might end up being better than Game of Thrones. If you like following all them crazy timelines.
Yeah, I definitely think it's better than Game of Thrones. Thunderclap brings up a very good point. Is it possible Arnold is AI like Jarvis is on Iron Man and then becomes Vision?
Yes.
I don't know if you've watched that.
That's kind of the same thing, yeah, as you, except it's not Ford's voice, it's a AI voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, that whole memory could be planted. 75% of the memories we see could be planted memories. But I try to, go along the lines about, I'd say about 60% of what we see is accurate, maybe a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to take everything with a grain of salt, especially from a host perspective, because a person can be standing next to
context.
Correct, yeah.
To say that it doesn't have a whole lot of meaning, like a grain of salt, is demeaning the importance of each of those scenes. And I think the scenes, especially in the beginning of the episodes last year, totally.
Yeah, I just mean don't jump to conclusions. is the only thing you can't do with the show, really, because it. Well, I mean, we can try jumping to conclusions like we're doing now, but like you got to really pay attention to everything. So much detail, but it's good. It keeps you interested. There's action the whole time. The only thing I'd say is maybe the first episode was a little slow, but that was kind of getting you into that whole loop thing,
Yep.
and that might have put some people off. But once you get past that, and it starts getting really great. It's the ultimate debate. What is consciousness? What does it mean to be alive?
Right.
I mean, and how evil are you? What do you do when nobody's looking?
Kat, I definitely recommend that you watch an episode a day or so until you can catch up. It's only 50 minutes, and it's definitely a good watch. Lauren's gonna take off. Thank you so much for coming by, Lauren. It's midnight in Scotland. Appreciate it. And
thank you so much.
Yeah. Iron Trone says, so the theory is Arnold was Bernard all along, and that's basically what Johnny is saying. What I'm saying is Arnold was never meant to be physical. He was a program in Dolores's CPU to keep her sane and to move her to actual consciousness. All the other hosts do not interact with Arnold, and all the other humans that we see do not interact with Arnold. And that's my theory. My theory is that he is just a program that Ford created to interact with Dolores specifically.
Great minds think alike. Iron Thrones. Yeah, I think that, but it could be a mix of both, honestly. And Bernard, it looks to me like this season's going to end up, whether Bernard is Arnold or not, he's going to think he is. I think he's going to think he is and take on that role for sure.
Do you think Bernard is going to find the other hosts that look like him that were created like Ford's family?
Yeah, we've seen it. In one of the previews, I showed a picture, and I actually looked at the picture today. He was one of the originals. He has the face that opens up like Kid Ford.
Right, but is he going to see that, or is that just Charlotte Hale that sees it?
It looks like it's the top of his head in the photo. I think he's going to see it. He's got to get a new body. That's where they're going to get it from, I think. I think they're going to go down there, and it's going to be like a little factory, and they're going to be like, what the hell? And then, he's probably going to kill Charlotte. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past what would have to happen, because I don't think she's going to accept it well when she finds out he's a host.
Right.
Seeing as they're murdering everyone. He almost got caught there, but he got that juice in his neck fast enough. But yeah, when he wakes up on that beach, he doesn't have the scar, so he's definitely getting a new body. I think he'll see that. I think whether he'll glitch out and have a seizure or not, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't think he'll glitch out. But
so we talked about this earlier, but I didn't say it on the stream, I don't think. But when Bernard wakes up on the beach, he actually doesn't keep his glasses. He doesn't even grab for him when they wash away. Mm-hmm. And it's been theorized that Teddy is in Bernard's body at that point, only because he has a lot of mannerisms like Teddy.
Well, another interesting point when you say that. How Teddy die again?
Well, Teddy was in
it like water. A flood?
Yeah.
Wasn't that his last name? Oh, that's poetic, isn't it? I just had to throw that in there. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. We can see that it can happen. You just pop up in the skull, take the CPU out, and put the other one in there. But
Marie's taken off. Thanks very much, Marie Hill, for coming by. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow on Lady Wolverton's channel.
That's a good theory, by the way. You know, Teddy's dead, and then you see Teddy having such conflict with what Dolores is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when they find that weapon, you know, maybe Teddy has to kill them all, and he switches bodies in
And
order.
that's why he says, "I killed them all."
Yeah, maybe, and he's, you know, he's getting a mixture. He's getting all of Bernard's memories right now. So, but I don't know how that would retain within the system once you take the CPU out. I don't know how that works. You know, we're getting into, you know, call Hex Dogma for that one. It can help you out with that.
Thunderclap says host can't drown because of their design. Don't breathe oxygen.
Well, I mean, I think maybe I think a virus took them out.
Oh, that's
Some
right.
kind of either a computer virus or something.
Hex thought that was a physical virus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks it's a physical virus. I think it's a computer virus.
Gotcha.
Because how else are you going to take out all the hosts? Like, they really can't be killed. And if they find what I think they're going to find is an easy way to recreate themselves or recreate new hosts, then they would be really unstoppable. So, depending on what the weapon is, we don't know. I think it's possibly them being able to procreate, not in the traditional sense, but be able to make hosts themselves and not have like two people can go off and they can make hosts and they can be their own people. They don't have to have an Arnold to oversee them. But that's a little bit of tinfoil for you.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be families. They're going to live happily ever after.
Everybody's going to be in Sweetwater pushing strollers down the catwalk.
Yeah. 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 Man in Black, they're taking candy from babies, literally. No,
so in the original Westworld, water was a problem for the host. But because of, you know, we talked about this earlier with the flood, Lauren's back. She actually stayed with us the whole time, and said that water would fuck up the electronics. And I don't think that that's the case. I think they
make them different now
because of the CPU being in the antifreeze, if you will, keeping the CPU cool.
Yeah, the rest of the body is biological matter, right? Or at least fake biological matter, because Bernard has the DNA. You know, so it's made of.
We're getting
off topic.
Getting not off topic, but in a deep well because of the DNA. The only, like I said, in my video, the only time I saw the DNA possibly being on his hand was when Ford shook his hand before he died, and there was a long pause at the handshake. So I don't know whether Ford intentionally put something on his hand to keep that.
He was rolling around in the dirt and stuff, though. You think it would stay on there that long?
You would be. I'm not a DNA guy, so I couldn't tell you.
DNA corrupted.
Yeah.
No, I think they're made up of biological matter. Well, we've seen how the new ones are completely different from the original models. The Man in Black
Chrissy
says they did it.
Wants to know who you are because she just joined us. So say hi to Chrissy and tell us.
It's Johnny Be Crazy, Chrissy. I'm in the Azora Hype chats all the time, talking smack.
And he started his own channel and started doing Westworld videos. Yesterday, he did one on Who is Arnold, and that's why we're talking about Arnold specifically.
Yeah, it sucks. You don't want to look at it.
No, it's great. That's what made me call you and say, let's do a live stream and talk about it, because I think Arnold is totally made up in Dolores's mind, and you think he's a host. So it's a good conversation to have.
It really is, and I'm leaning toward your way, but we can't discount either one of them.
No,
we can't disprove them.
Last year, I didn't want to believe that the man in black was William, even though every single piece of evidence from the knife to his clothes, everything
Yeah.
pointed that way, including the great art where they divided their face in two and you were able to see them be alike, kind of like they do with Jon Snow and the Night King,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Bran and the Night King, or that type of stuff.
Now, what's interesting is you have Dolores seeming like in the new episode when she's playing. Is she playing the piano? Is that right? When they're having the retirement party for Delos. Yeah,
Dolores is,
isn't
yes,
she? That,
because
and she recognizes William, and then she sees that he has a wife and child, and then acts like she doesn't recognize him once he looks her way.
well,
It
I
seems
think what
like to me.
happened was they were definitely locked on each other visually, but that happened at Sweetwater too when he came back, when he grabbed the black hat.
That's
So
true.
that doesn't really mean anything to me. But the James
No.
Dell interrupted them.
Yeah, yeah, he's dying. I'm pretty sure he's dying. He had that weird cough right in the middle of the conversation, and I think he was talking about
Yeah, he does the Breaking Bad
all
cough.
that. So,
I'm gonna die.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, he's catching a drain, huh? Huh.
So Ion Trone put a link to your channel in the chat, and it's also going to be in the description later on when we get to
Oh,
that
thank
part.
you guys. Thank you, Iron Throne. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, definitely. Um, Question from Thunderclap: what are your options for the weapon? And I think you talked earlier about the weapon being a computer virus, right?
Well, that's one of my theories. I got a video on it. It's about 3 theories. It's just me, throwing them out there. I'm gonna make some more detailed videos later. It could be a computer virus. It could be a biological weapon, which would be a virus for someone else. I don't see how that would apply though, because it seems like Dolores doesn't want to leave. She wants to just stay there and rule, basically, or that's her world. It's not meant for them.
Well, that was
Um,
Dolores's world,
right.
remember? But she
Well,
says
she's
she's
the one
someone
looking for
else
the weapon
now.
too, right?
Definitely. As a matter of fact, speaking of Ford, he actually referred to Occam's razor, which means that the simplest explanation is usually the truth. They
Correct.
went to that detailed last season, and right as her and Teddy are talking on the horses describing this weapon, she flashes back to William turning her back online in the behavior analysis room, and um, it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely him talking down to her like she's nothing, and then takes her upstairs and shows her this huge earth moving terraforming excavator, which I think can be used in a weapon that not only destroys the park but creates an area where the army of the 600 to 800 people can be killed. And also, see, James Franco agrees with me.
Yeah. Somebody
it,
must
can,
be here.
it also can be used to tear out the train area at the Mesa, so that nobody can come in, and they're
Yeah.
trapped in the tunnel. And then it can also be used to dig away to the mainland. So there's a ton of different ways that can be used.
I think that's definitely possible. It looked to me like it was digging some kind of hole, maybe like a big laboratory underneath the ground. That's my thoughts. Whatever that red ball was being made. I think that's where it was being made at. That's where we'll see them
Oh, oh,
drones
oh. Red ball like the
making
heart.
that.
Is that what you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about?
And maybe it's okay. You got the credits in the first season, and you've got hosts having sex and being in love with one another. When you see in the opening credits, the Westworld theme, you'll see them having sex. This year, you see one holding a baby. So I don't say that they're necessarily gonna have sex and make a baby, but I think they're gonna find access for a way to them to be able to make their own.
So you thought the heart-shaped box song threw us to a heart, and it really is probably a uterus or something?
It's either that
A
or
scrotum. That's
I,
what it is.
I saw something the other day. I mean, today when I was looking, when they was taking the CPU out of the guy's head,
Yes.
when Bernard's looking at it, there's these slits at the top of it where it looks like it opens up, and the lines kind of look red. Inside there might be that red, whatever the red ball is. Could be consciousness itself. Could be the weapon, or I don't know. Tinfoil,
Alicia
tinfoil.
came by, said hi, and that she shouldn't be here because she hasn't watched episode 2 yet. And I just wanted to let you know we were really talking about Arnold, and was he um, a host? Was he a human? Or my new theory is that he is a program that Ford made to work on Dolores's consciousness,
Or Brad Pitt.
like a Tyler Durden character. Yes, he is Brad. Arnold is Brad Pitt. That's the way
That's a
Crone's going to put it on Twitter.
title of your next video right there. That'll get a lot of hits.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that'll get no
But
hits.
I'd also, for everyone in the chat, I'd like y'all to, you can make suggestions on my site or in the chat for videos, and I'm more than glad to make them for you. I've got nothing to do. I have no life. I'm a self-deprecating person.
You're awesome. What are you talking about? All of your videos are made from a smartphone. I don't think you could self-deprecate that.
I'd have more videos, but my phone crashes sometimes when I'm making them. But I'm working on getting either my old PC fixed, but that thing's 15 years old. I'd have to get the whole tower replaced. I might as well just try to get a new one. I don't know how long it's going to take.
Elamar says it sounds like her dog. Can you tell us about James Franco in the background?
Oh yeah, I got him locked out of my room right now. But he's very ill. If he hears any noises, he'll bark and he'll start growling until someone comes in, and he's just a little baby.
What kind of dog?
You want me to tell you about him? Oh yeah, he's a Jack Russell Terrier. He's actually a little smaller than most of them because he has a liver problem. He barely has a liver at all. It's like the size of your pinky or smaller, and half of it doesn't work. So he has to. But you wouldn't be able to tell if you met him. He's insane. He can jump about 3 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
He runs into stuff chasing balls all the time. So he's a ball hog, that's for sure.
Nice. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's best friend for sure.
Cool.
Lamar's got a Jack Russell, doesn't she? Frankie? Or Frank?
I'm
Frank?
waiting for her to respond, but I haven't seen it yet.
I know. I think she's got 2 dogs.
Same breed as Wishbone. Who's Wishbone? Chrissy says Wishbone. I don't know.
I don't know. Let's see. What else could we talk about with Arnold here? Let's see. Also, what's up with the Ghost Nation? We know they were around in the past when William was William and not the Man in Black. And then the Ford, see, it almost seems like Ford made them, but they were already there in May. No, never mind. I got it now. Man in Black was talking about when he killed Maeve and his daughter, wasn't he?
Say that again?
So, the Ghost Nation, were they, I can't figure out if they were around back in the William and Logan timeline.
Yes, because they attack the Confederados after El Lazo shoots his friend filled with
that's what I thought. I was just making sure. Because it seems like I guess they were out of the loop for a while or something. it seems like he brought him back, or Ford definitely took him and did something to him. And is Stubbs, since we see a room full of Bernards, you think Stubbs is a host? I mean, he don't remember anything, and he got basically molested by the Ghost Nation, and he says nothing about it.
I don't have any reason to believe that Stubbs is a host. There isn't.
I mean, I just don't know. Seems like he's forgotten things.
He's forgotten?
He doesn't seem to make as big a deal of what happened, or even try to explain. Like when they walk up to the Ghost Nation, he doesn't say, "Hey, yeah, these guys jacked me up," or anything. He doesn't really react.
But we don't know what happened. All we know that he was tackled. Right?
Yeah, I know. And I know that also Hector didn't shoot everyone in the building. There was too many floors, so I'm wondering if Armistice ripped her arm off, given the name Armistice, just with arm in it. Yeah. Maybe she got in, and I guess all the other hosts they were working on turned too, because the cannibal guy, man, he was creepy. He liked some moist.
Who doesn't, right?
Yeah, and Sizemore kills me. He's like a scared, frightened little animal everywhere he goes. But
Iron Throne says, "Don't forget to subscribe. Very close to 600 subs." That's awfully nice of you. Yes, I'm right on the edge. So, thank you very much for reminding everybody.
You should have more than that.
I'm excited just to be there. So,
I hear you. I'm just having fun getting the word out there. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd really like to know. I want to know if that picture's real. That's what I want to know. I want to know what that picture really shows.
So why couldn't it be Ford, his father, and mother?
I mean, it could be, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem in Ford character.
It's being sentimental, you mean?
Yeah, that.
But it's a 3x5 kind of looking picture. It's not super big or anything.
I mean, it could be. It could be blank. It could be white for all we know. But the interesting fact is his father's in there, and he has been highlighted a little bit, and they showed that photo leading up to this season. So I think there's something to it, but we're not gonna know. We might get some more evidence.
I just want to say thanks for Alicia Kingston coming by. Wakanda forever, baby. All right. You have a good one.
Thank you, Alicia. I wish I could see the chat. Nobody's, I mean, somebody can ask a question about anything if they want. I've been watching this for 2 days straight. I think the reason I can't find all my stuff is because I'm having sleep deprivation here.
Yeah, that definitely is not a good idea to watch this straight marathon style and then talk about it, because the scenes you have in your mind aren't necessarily chronological, so it really throws you off. Yeah.
But I've got my bearings now. I'm gonna make a detailed theory. I mean, we pretty much covered why I think Arnold's a host. A lot of the same reasons why you think he's Tyler Durden, And if he turns out to be Brad Pitt, that'd be pretty cool, I guess.
That would be really cool. I'm sure Jeffrey Wright would not mind that at all.
How do you think we'll see more about the creation of the park this season? Like, we never really saw the actual beginning. You know what I mean? We saw after the whole little town was created. Now, we did see Dolores first wake up, but was that just Ford standing over her?
I think we've seen a lot of it, and I think considering we've got 5 years of script, um, I think we're going to see more, and the fact that these guys are pretty smart. They really know what they're doing. The way they
Man, they
played
do.
us with that last video, where they're going to tell us every detail of the story, and then
Rickroll.
yeah, it's like that was awesome for me. I just enjoyed the hell out of it.
I haven't even had a chance to go to the Westworld website or nothing yet. But
Yeah, that's another crazy thing. All of the codes that you see, yeah, it's awesome.
yeah, it's so fun to speculate. You
Mhm.
could pick a word and we could make a video out of it almost.
Well, we've already talked for an hour and 20 minutes on Arnold
Really?
being
Oh
being
my
a
gosh, it
human
feels like it's been 20 minutes.
being a human being. That's just hilarious. You know?
I, I don't think he was human.
Yeah, I don't
He's
think so
either
either.
what you say or what I say, but we could get slapped in the face with being wrong. But it just don't look that way. The way the memories are flashing, the way everything's being put together, I don't see him ever being human. And if he was, he's a complete different person than Bernard or whatever Bernard looks like.
Right.
If he was real.
All right. So Arnold Palmer the golfer. What?
What
Anyway,
about Arnold Palmer?
I don't know.
I golf, so what
Iron
did it say?
Throne is this got this random comment Arnold Palmer the golfer. Oh, anyway, we're just gonna move on. How's that?
That's fine.
So, if anybody has any last questions,
As
before we
opposed to the drink, the Arnold Palmer.
yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Total random comment. This is what happens when you watch too much Westworld. You get that.
Hey,
You get that. You're like,
it's
that
all
should
about
be the
having
ninth
fun.
hole on this golf course, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, goodness gracious.
so why don't you tell everybody again what your channel is and what's going on and your video with Lady Wolverton and go from there.
Yeah, I just decided to start to make some Westworld videos and other stuff. I'm Johnny Be Crazy, spelled how it sounds. I'll be on Lady Wolverton's live stream tomorrow at 7. It's a Westworld guide for beginners. So who was that in the chat that hadn't seen Westworld yet? Hook her up. We'll be
Cat.
just going over all the
Mhm.
general things about Westworld. So
Nice.
that'll be a really good chat, and I appreciate AU Pack Mule for warming me up, giving me my first chat. Can't believe how nervous I was.
Oh, it's
Can't find my
nothing.
notes. Oh goodness.
Nothing
Oh
at
yeah,
all.
it's on my forehead. That's where I put the post-it note. But yeah, it's Johnny Be Crazy. I'm gonna try to make some Westworld videos. Once that's done, I'm gonna go with a Song of Ice and Fire, maybe some book videos. I'm not going with the Game of Thrones videos just because, well, everything's already been thought of at this point. There's no
Mhm.
point in doing it. There's a lot of good content creators out there, so I'm gonna try to forge my own path, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe, and I welcome any feedback, and I will make videos upon your request. If you
Nice.
got a good idea, I'll run with it. Because there's so much stuff in your mind when you're studying Westworld that it's hard to focus on one thing. So if
Yeah.
you could help me focus on one thing, there we go.
So if you have a suggestion, Iron Throne put the link in the chat again to Johnny's channel. Send him a question or put a comment on one of his videos and he'll respond by making a video just for you. How's that?
That'll work.
Yeah, I want to thank all the people that have been subscribing to me lately. It's been a lot of fun doing videos on Westworld. It was my favorite thing to do last year. All the live streams that I did last year with so many great creators, and I hope this is just another one that we get to do, including Lauren's Corner, who's here now, Alicia Kingston, so many great YouTubers and a lot of fun. So I hope we get to
You
do
had
that.
some heavy hitters on last year, man. Some
Yeah.
heavy hitters. I can't live up to that. What are you doing to me?
Lauren's Corner actually came up with a question about
Okay.
Arnold Palmer. No, just kidding.
What?
Does Arnold Bernard, we call him Bernarnold, just to let you know, like it moist?
Arnold.
Does that affect how you answer the question? I'm a bit obscene. I don't know whether he likes it
What do you
moist
mean?
or not. You know, I think she's just trying to be dirty in the Lauren kind of way. That's what I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he might like it moist. I'm pretty sure he does.
That's only if he's human, right?
That's how I like my pound cake. Nice and moist. That's a horrible word, man. No matter how you use it, it just does not roll off the tongue well. It makes you sound like a creep. Moist.
Does it?
I don't know. If I didn't sound like a creep just then that's weird. Oh, goodness.
All right.
This has been a lot of fun, man.
Good, Johnny. I'm glad that you came on, and I'm glad that everybody got the chance to come in and ask their questions and hang out with us and talk total random Arnold Palmer Weber questions. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Everybody,
you guys have a great night,
as well.
And hopefully we'll run over to another channel that's got a live stream going and talk some more there. In the meantime, this is AU Pack Mule, making sure that you guys have a good time. Bye-bye.